Terence Crawford is now a 4-division champion, but this one wasn't easy. Crawford earned a unanimous decision victory over Israel Madrimov in a close, hard-fought bout to capture the WBA Super Welterweight Championship. The judges scored it 116-112 and 115-113 twice, all in favour for Crawford, who has now held titles at 135, 140, 147 and 154 pounds. Crawford's jab activity and a strong push in the championship rounds seemed to secure the fight and the title in a new weight class. Madrimov was a complex puzzle to solve. Madrimov's movement, sneaky speed and power were key factors that kept Crawford cautious throughout the fight. His straight right hand found a home during the early and middle rounds, further adding to the challenge. Crawford did enough to nullify Madrimov's momentum with powerful shots to the body and some well-placed uppercuts. Both men had a little mouse under their left eye from the other's punches, but there was no other significant facial damage. Madrimov's promoter, Eddie Hearn, echoed his post-fight sentiments on social media shortly after the bout. Hearn believes Madrimov was disrespected on the scorecards and deserved more love as the defending champion. Longtime boxing journalist Dan Raphael gave a quick take on the result, pointing the finger at Madrimov's lack of activity and throwing some cold water on Crawford's desire to step up to fight Canelo Alvarez at 168. I disagree with Dan Raphael on Madrimov's inactivity. I agree Crawford outworked him down the stretch, but I don't think it was Madrimov's choice. It appeared Madrimov got a little tired down the stretch and ate some hard shots in the 11th and 12th rounds. Madrimov's constant motion is part of what makes him tough to time, but it is also a taxing way to fight, and that might have contributed to his decreased work rate during the championship rounds. I do agree with Raphael's take on a potential Crawford-Canelo matchup. You could see Madrimov's punches and overall strength had a little more impact on Crawford, and this was only one weight class up from welterweight. It's tough to imagine Crawford observing some of the shots he took from Madrimov if they were coming from Canelo. Crawford could be rematching Errol Spence in his next fight by taking on another challenge at 154, but it is easy to see how his fans might be a bit nervous if he attempted to challenge Canelo. Saturday Night Scrap was an excellent tactical fight between two elite boxers, and Crawford won. The overall show was strong as Turkey Al Sheikh and Riyadh season produced an outstanding first event in the USA, and there are likely more to come in the States. We saw two major upsets with Martin McCauley stopping Gerard Anderson and Jose Venezuela dethroning Isaac Cruz. Overall, it was an excellent night of boxing across multiple weight classes. Now that is the take from Forbes magazine. I thought it was an interesting take because it mirrors my thoughts on the fight. Terence Bud Crawford, 4-weight champion, 2-weight undisputed champion, 2 or 3-weight ring champion, ring magazine champion. The accolades are just building and building. Now, let's break down this particular fight. It was a very taxing fight for Bud. Madrimov showed that size matters in terms of his frame was much more bigger than any that Crawford has seen in a professional ring before. And plus, he was able to absorb shots a lot better. The timing situation, I put that down to a layoff, the long layoff out of the ring. I put that down to that with Crawford's timing, because it was very much off in the very beginning to the middle rounds until he started to get his timing back. But it's also down to Madrimov's movement. His jerky, all over the place movement with his hands low and his shots coming from all blindsided angles can be taxing. on the opponent. And Crawford handled that well, in all fairness. I saw Madrimov's work rate throughout the first 6 to 7 rounds, which I was carefully watching for because this is where he does most of his work. He tries to get his opponent out of there before the 6th, 7th round because in my opinion, he gets tired down the stretch, which the article did mention. They saw that he was getting tired down the stretch, even though his output was less than normal. And his output was less than normal because in the first 2 rounds, Crawford hit him with some real stiff jabs from the southpaw stance because he started off orthodox and very quickly in that first round turned southpaw and started using his stronger hand as his jab hand. And I think over the years, where he's done this so much, he's now turned that jab into a very, very stiff, hard shot, much like the Kung Fu inch punch, which is known throughout the world as a very strong punch from a standing position very close to the opponent. He has turned his jab into somewhat of an inch punch type thing. The jab hand is usually your weaker hand, but he's using his stronger hand for his jab hand, so therefore his jabs can come out a lot more controlled and a lot more powerful. And with that being said, he hit Madrimov with a few of those jabs in the first round to the body and to the head, which made Madrimov retreat and then decide that he needs to be patient with his approach, which Crawford in the post-fight press conference mentioned. He mentioned he was surprised by Madrimov's patience because obviously as the bigger man, the patience isn't very necessary as much because the smaller guy shouldn't be able to hurt you as much. You should be used to your weight class level of punches. A smaller man coming up, you should be able to kind of somewhat walk through his punches and dominate. But when he felt them straight shots from Crawford early, he decided, no. I need to back up and have a game plan too. Let's get through this fight because this guy has the potential to hurt me in this ring. I didn't see any one man hurt in the fight, and the cards read as a unanimous decision because all were in favour of Bud, all were in favour of Crawford. It's just that when you look at each round, apart from the 11th round, which I thought clearly Bud won, and maybe the first round, which I said clearly Bud won, and maybe the 12th round as well. Apart from those 3 rounds, the rounds were very close and competitive, and I wouldn't say hard to call, I would say just close to call, but it always edged towards Crawford. He had the better work. He was the one landing the more noticeable shots. Eddie Hearn talking about it should have been a split decision loss, not a unanimous decision loss. What are you talking about? You're saying that your guy lost either way, so what's the difference? Unanimous or majority or split, it's a loss. Your man lost, my guy. You're saying, oh, you should have to come and rip the title away from the champion. This kind of thing happens more when the champion is fighting under his promotional banner and he's with his promoter per se, and then sometimes, and plus it could be fighting at home, or he's from the country that they're fighting in, either America or the UK or wherever, something like Russia or something like that. That's where the champion's from. They're fighting at home. They're fighting under their promotional banner. That usually works in their favour in that type of setting. But with Turki Al-Sheikh, it seems like everybody's on neutral ground. Everybody's on neutral territory. You saw it in the Tyson Fury-Usyk fight. Usyk wins the fight, where a lot of people thought that Tyson Fury might have edged it. And it worked again on the weekend, where Crawford won all the rounds, or won the rounds that he won. He won more than 6 rounds. Some say 8, some say 7. But he won more than 6 rounds. So therefore, he wins the fight. And that's how the judges scored it. The scorecards are here. I had the first 2 rounds for Crawford, and the same as most of these both the judges. But after that, it got sketchy, and you can see it on the cards that are displayed in front of you right here. Some of them say that Madrimov got the 3rd round. Some of them say, one of them said Crawford won the 3rd round, and so on and so forth. It was a close fight, but all the judges decided that Crawford won. 2 said 7-5, 1 said 8-4, and that's the end of it. Is he ready to fight Canelo? In my opinion, off of that Display. It's not that the display says that I don't think he should fight Crawford next. It's just that I was thinking if he went in there and ragdolled Madrimov and treated him like how he treated Errol Spence, then I'm thinking, okay, that's grounds for saying you can go up 2 weight classes. But the mere fact that, oh yes, Madrimov was tentative, but also Crawford was tentative because he also was feeling the shots. That straight right down the middle after he turned southpaw, it hardly missed him. If Madrimov got a bit more brave and threw a few more of those straight rights down the middle, we could be talking about a whole different situation right now. But he didn't. But Crawford, even though he ate them well, he was still eating these straight rights down the middle. He may not do that against Canelo. He might stay orthodox more. But at the same time, Canelo probably throws like 90% power shots. Everything's power. Yeah, but everything's just power. So with that being said, and he plants his feet to let go of these power shots. With that being said, I don't think Crawford is ready to fight Canelo next. No matter how much blocking he does over 12 rounds. I mean, we saw what he done to Callum Smith's arm because he was blocking. So I said, okay, I'll punch your arm there. I'll punch what you're blocking me with. And subsequently broke that and swollen up arm just because he was trying to block. And he still lost the fight. I don't think Crawford should fight Canelo next. I think personally he should go and be undisputed at 154. Then you're 3 division undisputed. That's a different realm now. You're now in a different stratosphere in terms of accolades. They gave him some interim WBO belt. I do not get that because I know that Sebastian Fondora is the WBO champion and he won it against Tim Tszyu. So as a champion, you don't need to interim to fight another champion. Just go and do the unification fight. But for now, well done Crawford. 4 division champion. 154 champion. Let's see where he goes from here. Well done Madrimov for showing his worth as well. And I'm sure he will have many fights in the future. He is only 10-0 as a pro. It came up against very stiff competition in 40-0 multi-weight division champion Terence Crawford. And he came up a bit short. He will learn from this. I'm sure he's kicking himself saying, I should have pushed the action a bit more. I should have done a bit more here. I should have done a bit more there. But that's all about learning. So well done, Madrimov, and we'll gladly see you in the future. Other than that, Terence Crawford, new WBA 154 super welterweight, junior middleweight champion. Where does he go from here? We will see. Time will tell. But it's a brilliant victory. And it was also a very good card. I'm going to review some of the other fights in other videos to come. But this is the end of that review of Bud versus Madrimov. I've been waiting for it a long time. It didn't disappoint me. Some people were bored because it was too tactical. I love that tactical battle. It was brilliant stuff in my opinion. I'll see you guys in the next video.